I have a confession to make. Even though I wrote a book about love and compassion, and I'm here today to speak on the topic, it has only been a couple of years since I've been treating myself with kindness. For years, I've been caught up in cycles of self-criticism, holding myself to impossible standards. And even now, that judgmental voice still comes up when I least expect it. What if the key to healing a divided world would start with how we speak to ourselves? Have you paid attention to your inner dialogue? Is it kind or is it harsh? You see, the way that we speak to ourselves shapes how we interact with each other and how we perceive the world around us. In 2022, I confronted a midlife crisis. My daughter had left the house to pursue her own life. I was still recovering from a broken engagement. I found myself completely disengaged at work, a place that had always brought me fulfillment. I was also sick, weak and anemic, and on top of all of that, I was angry at myself because I didn't have the energy and the drive I once had. Back then, I didn't realize that I was being sabotaged by these poisons called rumination. Anyone familiar with those? Constant overthinking, self-criticism, and isolation. Research confirms that self-compassion is actually the antidote to those things. When we have greater self-compassion, we have better well-being, and we can interact better with others. Also, Dr. Christine Neff, a leading psychologist and researcher on the topic of self-compassion, she identifies these three elements of self-compassion as the antidote, right, to that self-criticism, isolation, and rumination. So I know firsthand what it is to tie my self-esteem to very rigid self-stories. For example, I used to be very proud to be vegan. But during a rare visit home to Colombia, that pride turned into judgment towards my family. I decided to impart an overbearing, unhealthy lecture on healthy eating while they were eating their steaks. Yeah, not a very good choice. And when my sister got pregnant at 16, I felt so disappointed. I was so angry that I distanced myself for months, 5 months to be exact. You see, these moments of judgment were not about them. They reflected the lack of compassion I had for myself. Without self-compassion, I built walls and created distance between the people I love the most. When we are operating from a place of self-neglect and self-criticism, we don't have the capacity to be there for others. Later in 2000, like about summer of August, mid-August of 2022, I knew I had to make a decision. So I decided to leave my corporate job, and I searched into the unknown, seeking for healing and purpose. And during my soul-searching journey, I connected with Juan Antonio. He was promoting a program called El Camino del Artista, the artist's way, about personal growth and transformation. So after a few online sessions with him, we start planning this trip to Spain to meet him in person. So I packed everything I could. I mean, not everything I could, but the bare essentials for this 20-day stay in Barcelona into a 40-liter backpack. I already knew I needed to let go of many things in my life. And since that first day that I saw Juan Antonio in person, I knew he was going to be a very important teacher in my life. As we walked the streets of Barcelona, I started unpacking my life stories. I would talk to him about the abuse and neglect that I endured as a child. And he would say to me, you know, there is no need for those stories to hold you back. Don't give those stories so much power. During the 20 days that I was in Spain, I would journal every single day. 3 pages of unfiltered thoughts to make sense of everything. And I discovered a few things, you know. I discovered that my rigid, perfectionistic mindset came from the group home where I grew up. And understanding those things were very important, right? So before we can love ourselves, we must understand ourselves. So it was a journey of self-discovery. So other times when I was talking to Juan Antonio about many things, I would find myself like laughing and crying at the same time. So he would constantly say to me, ya no te maltrates más, no hay necesidad. No need to keep mistreating yourself. He would also say, don't put people on pedestals. We're all the same. And I will cry with the realization that I had spent most of my life making myself small. But I will also realize that I could choose differently going forward. Towards the end of my trip, we went to Montserrat. And it was metaphorical for me after overcoming an insurmountable mountain of inner struggles. Another thing that I can tell you is that one day he walked with me to the hotel room, and I rushed to open the door. I placed the digital key on the door and like pushed hard, but it wouldn't open. And I kind of was used to living a struggle, I guess. He took the key, placed it very gentle on the door, waited for the beep, and then opened it effortlessly. That was another occasion where I could see things that before were hidden from my awareness. And the answer was so simple, right? Sometimes we just have to stop, breathe, and be present. So when we went to Montserrat, I felt a sense of arriving. I was finally good enough for myself. I felt incredible peace, and I felt very grateful for everything I have lived in my life. And there are moments where I still find myself in a struggle, but I can go back to that moment in Montserrat and find peace within myself. Since I started embracing self-compassion, the world around me has transformed. I now have very intimate relationships, deep connections to the people, to my friends, many of them here in the audience. Gisela, Eric, Eduardo, Doris. I have learned, how to build deep connections with others. And you may not know this about me, but I work many years serving others. Many years, 15 years doing community service. But I was operating from a place of self-neglect. So self-compassion is what is helping me now to build healthier, more strengthen my relationships with others. So to conclude, I want to walk you to the 3 elements of self-compassion. So the first one is mindfulness. So mindfulness requires us to be aware of how we're feeling in the moment. Just connected to our body. Our minds dwell in the present, in the future or the past, but the body is always present. So mindfulness invites us to feel our emotions without over-identifying with them. The second one is common humanity. So in moments of distress, we can think about many other people in the world, in our communities, going through similar struggles. And we can send them love and peace. And as we do that, as we send love and peace to others, we feel that love and peace within ourselves. And then self-kindness. If we still hear this critical voice saying things that don't make us feel good, we can think about how could we advise a dear friend that was going through a similar situation. And then we can reframe, our own thinking to uplift ourselves. So self-compassion is courage. Self-compassion is not indulgence. Self-compassion gives us the courage to confront our inner critic, to validate our own pain and our own emotions. And when we choose compassion, we choose healing. We choose connection. Because we give what we have, right? So if we're in pain, if we are hurting, consciously or unconsciously, we are hurting others as well. But when we heal ourselves, we create a space for others to heal as well. And maybe, just maybe, that's how we can transform the world around us and heal a divided world. Thank you.